Olivia, darling, you simply can't be serious about this boutique thing. My mother's voice dripped with the particular brand of disappointment she'd perfected over years of social climbing. She stood in my newly leased storefront, her Hermès scarf artfully draped despite the summer heat, looking at my carefully curated collection of designer consignment pieces as if they were rags. At 32, I was supposed to be following in my family's real estate dynasty footsteps. Instead, here I was opening Second Chance Luxury, my high-end consignment boutique in downtown Manhattan's fashion district. The lease is signed, Mom. I continued arranging a vintage Chanel suit, deliberately not mentioning that I own the entire building through one of my holding companies. The grand opening is next week. My brother Marcus chose that moment to swagger in, his custom-made Italian suit matching his inflated ego. As the crown prince of Harrison Properties, he never missed an opportunity to remind me of my place in the family hierarchy. Baby sister, he smirked, running a finger along a display shelf and checking for dust. Still playing dress-up shop? You do realize Dad's practically dying of embarrassment at the club, right? A Harrison selling used clothes. I bit back the urge to tell him that while he was busy playing real estate mogul with Daddy's money, I'd quietly built Metropolitan Holdings into one of the largest property investment firms in New York. My boutique? It was just the perfect cover, a way to keep my family underestimating me while I acquired building after building, including many of their most prized properties. These aren't just used clothes, Marcus, I replied, adjusting a Dior handbag's position. These are curated vintage pieces. There's a market for it. A market. He laughed, the sound echoing off the exposed brick walls I'd personally selected during the renovation. The only market that matters is real estate. God, Liv, you had a degree from Wharton and this is what you do with it. If he only knew that I'd used that degree to build an empire right under their noses. While they thought I was just running a boutique, I was orchestrating some of the biggest real estate deals in the city's history. Speaking of real estate, Mom interjected, your father's concerned about the Harrison building lease renewal. The rates are going up astronomically, and the new owner is being absolutely ruthless about negotiations. I suppressed a smile, remembering the stack of documents on my other desk, my real desk in the penthouse office of Metropolitan Towers. The Harrison building, my family's pride and joy, their corporate headquarters for 3 generations, had been one of my first acquisitions through a series of shell companies. That's terrible, Mom, I said, carefully maintaining my concerned expression. Have you met the new owner? Marcus snorted. Nobody has. Some mysterious corporation called Metropolitan Holdings. Probably some foreign investors trying to push us out. But Dad will handle it, he always does. Little did they know that dear old Dad had been trying to reach me, or rather my alter ego, for weeks. The lease renewal terms I'd sent were deliberately steep, designed to force a very specific conversation. I'm sure he will, I murmured, watching my brother inspect the price tag on a Valentino dress with obvious disdain. $7,000 for a second-hand dress? He shook his head. This is embarrassing, Olivia. You're a Harrison. We build empires, we don't play shopkeeper. The irony of his statement almost made me laugh out loud. While they were focused on their handful of premium properties, my empire had quietly grown to encompass over 70% of Manhattan's prime commercial real estate, including, as of last month, the building that housed my brother's favorite restaurant, the hotel where my parents hosted their charity galas, and yes, the prestigious Harrison building itself. Remember when you were little? Mom sighed, touching a silk scarf with perfectly manicured fingers. You used to come to the office with your father learning about property values and market trends. Now look at you. I did remember. I remembered every lesson, every principle, every strategy they taught me. I just applied them on a scale they never imagined while they were busy underestimating me. The lease meeting is tomorrow, Marcus announced, checking his Rolex. Dad's getting the board together. We'll show these Metropolitan Holdings people that nobody pushes the Harrisons around. My phone buzzed, a text from my real estate director about tomorrow's meeting. Everything was in place. After 5 years of careful planning, it was finally time to reveal who really owned their precious empire. Good luck with that, I said softly, watching them leave my little boutique. Neither of them noticing the small Metropolitan Holdings logo discreetly etched into the corner of the front window. Mom paused at the door. Darling, it's not too late to come back to the family business. Your father could still find a place for you. If they only knew that tomorrow, they'd be the ones looking for a place in my business. Later that evening in my penthouse office atop Metropolitan Towers, I reviewed the lease documents one final time. The boutique security cameras streamed on a side monitor, force of habit from years of maintaining two separate lives. My assistant, Kate, entered with a fresh cup of coffee and tomorrow's schedule. The Harrison Properties board will be here at 9 a.m. sharp, she reported, a hint of anticipation in her voice. Your father's assistant called 3 times today trying to reach Mr. Metropolitan about negotiating the terms. I smiled at the assumption that I must be a man. Let them keep guessing. Did you arrange everything as I asked? Yes, Miss Harrison. The conference room is set up exactly as specified. Security has been briefed and the documents are ready. She paused, then added with a slight smirk, I also had your nameplate installed on the building's main entrance. It's covered for now, but tomorrow. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the glittering city, my city, though few knew it. Below, I could see my boutique's lights still on, the evening staff handling the late customers. The perfect cover story running smoothly as always. 5 years, I mused, more to myself than Kate. 5 years of them laughing at my little shop, while I bought up half of Manhattan. 5 years of listening to them brag about their empire, while I built something 10 times bigger. My phone buzzed, a text from Marcus, family dinner next week. Might be your last chance to come to your senses before Dad writes you off completely. I set the phone down without replying. Tomorrow would be response enough. The next morning I arrived at Metropolitan Towers through my private entrance, dressed in a power suit that cost more than most of the pieces in my boutique. Kate met me with a briefing. The Harrison Properties team is in the main lobby. Your father's trying to throw his weight around with security, demanding to see Mr. Metropolitan immediately. She handed me a tablet showing the lobby security feed. Sure enough, there was my family looking importantly impatient. Let them wait 10 minutes, I instructed, settling behind my desk. Then bring them up. I watched on the monitor as my family was finally escorted to the executive floor. Marcus was practically strutting, Dad had his negotiation face on, and Mom was examining everything with her usual air of entitled criticism. The security feed showed them entering the outer office area, where Kate met them with perfect professional courtesy. Welcome to Metropolitan Holdings. Please follow me. This is ridiculous, I heard my father's voice through the door. We're the Harrisons. We don't wait in lobbies or play games with mysterious owners. Mr. Harrison, Kate replied smoothly, I assure you Arcio has been looking forward to this meeting. The door opened and they filed in, freezing in their tracks as they saw me seated at the massive desk, the city skyline behind me, the Metropolitan Holdings logo prominent on the wall. Olivia. Marcus sputtered, his composure cracking. What are you doing here? Where's the owner? I stood slowly, enjoying the moment I'd waited 5 years to experience. You're looking at her. Welcome to my office. This is absurd, Dad started, his face reddening. Stop playing games, Olivia. This is a serious business meeting. Oh, I'm quite serious. I pressed a button and the wall screens lit up with property portfolios, dozens of buildings, all owned by Metropolitan Holdings. While you were busy mocking my boutique, I was building this. Every major property deal in Manhattan for the past 5 years? That was me. The mysterious buyer who outbid you on the Riverside development? Me. The foreign investors who bought the Harrison building? Also me. Mom sank into one of the visitor chairs, her perfect composure finally cracking. But your little dress shop was the perfect cover, I finished for her. Who would suspect the family disappointment with her little boutique was actually orchestrating billion-dollar real estate deals? While you were all busy feeling superior, I was quietly buying every prime property in the city, including most of yours. Marcus lunged forward, snatching up the lease agreement from my desk. His hands trembled as he flipped through the pages, his face growing paler with each section. These terms, the acquisition clauses, you're not just raising our rent. You're forcing us to sell. Clever of you to notice, I replied, standing to face them. You see, the Harrison building isn't just your headquarters, it's your primary asset. With the new lease terms, you'll either have to sell or bankrupt the company trying to pay the rent. And guess who has the first right of purchase? Dad slammed his fist on my desk, his face purple with rage. You can't do this to your own family. We gave you everything. Everything. I laughed softly, pulling up more screens showing my property portfolio. You gave me criticism, mockery, constant reminders that I was a disappointment. But you also gave me something else, an education in real estate. I just applied it better than you ever imagined. The boutique. Mom whispered, realization dawning. All those society women coming in to sell their designer pieces were the perfect source of information, I finished. Amazing what people will reveal while discussing their vintage Chanel. Every divorce, every financial trouble, every desperate need to sell property quickly, I heard it all. Information is power, and my little shop gave me more insider knowledge than all your country club connections combined. I pressed another button, and the screens showed live security feeds from my properties across the city. The Richardson Tower? The Plaza Shopping Complex? Also mine. That new development on Fifth Avenue you've been trying to get into, Marcus? I own that too. But the money, Marcus protested weakly. Starting all this would have taken millions. My trust fund, I said simply. The one you all laughed at me for wasting on a boutique. I invested every penny in my first building, then leveraged that into the next and the next. While you were busy showing off your corner office in the family building, I was quietly building an empire that makes Harrison Properties look like a corner store. Kate entered with a fresh stack of documents. The updated ownership transfer papers, Ms. Harrison. And the board is waiting for your call. Dad's face went ashen. The board? Our board. No, father. My board. You see, I don't just own your building, I own controlling interests in most of your partner companies too. That's what today's meeting is really about. Harrison Properties is about to be absorbed into Metropolitan Holdings. I sat back down, gesturing to the papers. You have two choices. Sign the merger agreement and keep your positions under my leadership, or fight me and lose everything. Either way, the Harrison real estate empire now belongs to me. Mom found her voice, though it quavered. All those family dinners listening to us talk about business. You were gathering intelligence? Every time you bragged about a deal, I was 3 steps ahead. Every time you mocked my boutique, I bought another one of your properties through shell companies. I learned from the best. After all, I just improved on your methods. Marcus slumped into a chair. The charity galas, the social events at your shop were excellent networking opportunities. Did you really think I was just selling dresses? I was selling an image, the harmless little sister who couldn't hack it in real estate. And you all bought it completely. I stood and walked to the window, looking out at my city. The lease renewal is just a formality. By the end of today, Harrison Properties will be a subsidiary of Metropolitan Holdings. You can either adapt to working for me or clear out your offices. Your choice. The silence in the room was deafening. Finally, Dad picked up the pen, his hand shaking slightly. You outplayed us all, he said quietly, signing the paper.